Hi everybody, my name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. So today I want to talk about twin flame recognition. When you recognise your twin flame, it is the most mind-blowing, life-altering moments you will ever experience in your whole life. So before I recognised my twin flame, I discovered what twin flames were. I'd done endless research on it, and I felt in my heart that I was a twin flame and that one day I would meet my counterpart. And after I did intensive research, like I was obsessed. It was crazy the amount of research I did. But it led me on a path of self-discovery. But one of the things that I read that I didn't really believe was, it said, be mindful of the people in your environment because you may have already met your twin flame. The universe will not allow you to recognize them until you are ready. Now I was like, nah, if somebody was my true divine counterpart, I'd know by now. I definitely know by now. Which is crazy because I actually got signs before I recognized my twin flame. I did know my twin flame before I recognized him, which is crazy. And in fairness, this guy, because he was younger than me, I didn't put him on the radar of my twin flame. Yet I had actually said to people, I definitely knew him in a past life because I felt this protective energy for him. And I did say to my friend, I think I have a crush on one of the young lads in work. And, she said, don't worry about it. But I dismissed it all. I didn't think anything of it. And the night then that I actually recognized his soul and recognized that he was my twin was absolutely out of this world. It was so crazy. I'd read that twins will recognize each other through eye contact because they will see into each other's soul because they're mirror souls. They will recognize each other that way. And as I said, this guy did not even come into my radar as my twin flame. So the night this happened, still, it took me a while to understand it. So the night I recognized him, we made eye contact across the room, and literally it was like we froze on the spot. Our bodies froze and we were just stuck in each other's eyes. We just couldn't look away for ages. And it was such a surreal feeling. It was magical now that I look back on it. And obviously at that time, when we actually did manage to break away eye contact, I just thought nothing of it. But I got this really weird sensation that all I wanted to do was spend the rest of the night with him. It was crazy, and I had this weird kind of, this tingly feeling all over because of it. And, it confused me. And, the whole night I was thinking about it. The whole night kept coming into my head. I was like, what was that? What was that? So the next morning after the party was over and everyone got home, I was sitting there thinking, what was that? And then I was just remembering back to the moment when we made eye contact, and I was just it was so surreal. And I was it was like I saw into his soul, and then boom, I was like, oh my God, no, oh my God. I was sitting on the couch going, no, really? Could it? What? I was in such shock. I was is he my twin flame? Because all the information about the twin flames came back into my head and everything just came rushing into my head. I was oh my God, the age gap, the cultural differences, the eye contact. And I was just this can't be it. Can it? Can this be it? I was in absolute, complete and utter shock. And then I just started to remember how I felt around him, how I had that energy around him, how I felt I knew him in a past life but didn't connect it because of the age difference. And even though I'd read about the twin flame age gap, I never even thought of it because the universe wouldn't allow me to recognize my twin until I was ready. And the last karmic relationship I had, it only lasts 2 months. I spoke about karmic relationships before. They're the relationships we get into to learn to pay off karmic debt from previous lives, but to make ourselves pure and ready for divine love. And I went from an 8 years narcissistic relationship to a 1.5 year relationship down to 2 months. And when I saw those red flags and broke off the last narcissistic relationship after 2 months, less than 1 month after I had learned the lessons of that last karmic relationship, less than 1 month later, I was allowed to recognize my twin. So I had to do a certain amount of healing and growing before I was allowed to recognize him. And I'd known him for about two years, I'd say, before that. And I didn't even, as I said, I didn't even put him on the radar. And I did kind of have a feeling I had a crush on him because I had a dream about him and stuff. And there was just this kind of vibe between us. But as I said, I just kept dismissing it because he was so much younger than I was, and it was just mind blowing. Like, so that's the thing. Like, when you do recognize your twin flame, it's you just know, because it's something you'll never ever experience with anyone else. That eye gaze, that connection through the eyes is different. And like, you know, I said it to my friends afterwards, and they were like, no, I doubt it. And this is the thing. 3D people will turn you against this connection because they don't understand it. So I just said, look, after I put it all together, I was like, it can't be, can it? So I actually had to research all the information again, just to kind of make sure I wasn't crazy. Like, was this real? And when I researched over and over again all the stuff I'd read before, it all actually made sense. And I was like, it is him. And I said to myself, look, I'm not going to jump the gun just yet. The next time I see him, if I feel anything, maybe it is. And the next time we met after that, this magnetic pull, it was just, I felt so drawn to him, and I felt my feelings were escalated for him. And I felt this, I did feel something otherworldly with him. And after that, like, I just fell hopelessly in love with him. And I did try to stop it. You know, the human mind tried to stop me from falling in love with him. But the thing is, you don't fall in love with your twin flame. You remember that you've loved them for lifetimes. And that's the thing, you've loved them so intensely and so much through your soul for so many lifetimes that you actually just fall in love with them. You remember that love. So, you know, it's you can't stop it from happening. And when I kind of just let the ego mind go away from it, like, literally, it was like overnight, I fell hopelessly in love, or remembered I was in love with my twin flame. Do you know, and you can't break that. No matter how much you run from the connection or try to dismiss it, the feelings don't go away. Like, when you've been in a relationship before and then you break up, you know, when you spend time away from a person, your feelings will go away. But with the twin flame connection, they don't go away. And don't get me wrong, last year I had to detach and walk away from it, and I just thought it was over, but I ended up actually closing my wall up so intense, or closing my heart up so intensely, that I blocked out what I felt for my twin. So I dismissed the whole thing. I tried to make it out that he wasn't the one, and I tried to walk away completely and just try to convince myself that it wasn't real. And when I did a breathwork session just over a month ago, my walls came back down because I started to realise the blocks around my heart. And the minute my walls came back down, I had another dream of my twin flame, and all the feelings just came rushing back like they'd never gone. And the only reason they were gone was because I closed my heart up. So you actually can't walk away from this connection no matter how hard you try. Even if you're in another relationship, you can't stop thinking about your twin flame. And it's something that you can't really move on from. It follows you everywhere. Like, and that's the thing, like, you know, it's otherworldly. It's not something that you're going to feel with anyone else. That eye contact it's magical. And I, like, to this day, I remember it, like, and it was like looking into his soul. And after that just flipped a switch, and my whole life changed forever the night I recognized my twin flame. So that's how you know. When you really, really know, it's a magical, magnetic, otherworldly feeling. It's a divine soul connection. It's not something we felt in the 3D. And then, like, you know, like, when I realized how much I love my twin, I looked back on previous relationships, and, you know, I thought I was in love so many times throughout my life. But no, I suppose the codependent version of me, the vulnerable, needy version of me, felt like she was in love with these people. But I look back and I was like, that wasn't love. There's nothing in this world compared to the divine love that you feel for your twin flame, your divine counterpart. There's actually, you can't, you know, you can't match it to anything else. Like, I describe it like my soul dancing. It's more intense than butterflies, and you can feel it so intensely in your heart and your tummy. I feel it, that it's my soul inside me dancing when I think of my twin flame. The love is all powerful. It's all magical. It is so intense. So that's the thing. When you know, you know. Your heart knows when the search is over. I love that quote, and that's true. Like when you recognize your twin flame, nothing else will compare. No one else will come onto your radar unless they come in for a karmic lesson. But like, you know, other people are no longer attractive to you. You just don't want anything else, and you'd rather be single and meet your twin on the astral plane than go for mediocre 3D relationships anymore. Nothing will match that. You know, nothing will be that for you anymore. When you really remember the love you have for your twin flame, you won't be able to match that again. And like, you know, it would be, for me to try and get into another relationship, to be honest, it would be deceptive, because, you know, you're going to try and be in a relationship with someone when your soul is meant for someone else. You know, and that's what I don't like about when people get into relationships and try and change each other into to fit them. That's not right. You're trying to make somebody else's person love you. And I can't, like, you know, I would be deceiving somebody if I got into another relationship, because I would be trying to be in love with somebody when I was already in love with somebody else. And I just, you know, I just don't think it's right, you know, because I can't promise myself to anyone else because my soul is already promised to somebody. And that's the thing with twin flames. Your soul is connected to this person. They're the other half of your soul. They're your mirror soul. They are your divine counterpart. They're your same soul frequency, you know, and you can't find that with somebody else. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't, like, some twin flames don't get together, and some twin flames do find love separately, and that's fair enough. But for me, I just don't think it would be right for me to be with somebody when I have a divine love connection with somebody else. It's weird, like, you know, I just don't think that's my opinion, and that's the way I feel. I just think that the magical intensity of a twin flame connection, I just don't think you could match it with somebody else who's not your person. I think everyone has a person, whether it's a twin flame or a soulmate. Everyone has a divine person, and I just think that it's hard to get somebody to love you fully if there's somebody else's person. Do you know? And so that would be like, you know, somebody trying to get me to love them would be like, I'm meant for somebody else. So I just think it would be, as I said, deceptive to be with another person. But that's me. And like, you know, when you do recognize your twin flame, you do know that magical connection, that eye contact is so unreal. And like, I've never been physically intimate with my twin flame, but I still feel that chemistry. I feel like that we have. It's weird. It feels like we already have, because we have in the 5D, and that's magical in itself, you know. So I don't know, it's out of this world. It really is out of this world. So when you do recognize your twin flame, when you've done all those karmic lessons and done all that growth and healing, and the universe allows you to meet your twin flame, you will know straight away by the rush of intensity how quickly you fall in love with that person, or remember that you're in love with that person. You just know. And that's the thing as well. So be mindful, because that was one thing I did read, was be mindful of the people around you, because the universe won't let you recognize your twin flame until you're ready. I was like, I'd know. And I didn't even see it, didn't even cop it. I knew him in a past life. I knew I felt this protective energy, and yet I dismissed it. And like, when I actually was allowed to recognize him through his eyes that night, I was like, how did I not figure this out already? Because it is mind-blowing, especially when you already know the person. It's crazy. So yeah, keep an eye out, because your twin flame could already be in your life, and the universe will allow you to recognize them when you are ready. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share. And if you want help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thank you. Bye-bye.